Right, so I love creating mismatches. I'm the anti-Cupid when I coach. Mismatches are great because you can try and get something for nothing. Or you can set, with a plan, you can set a weaker player up against a stronger player and allow your other players to take the space that they've now created for them. So this is going to be pretty technical in the weeds. If you're not hardcore polocross, probably skip this one because it won't make any sense to you at all. Right, so and this is a game that I played last year, and so we're the green team. This is my team. We're playing against the red team, and I went and I watched, and the draw was that we were playing. It was a semi-final in the afternoon, so we're playing knockouts. So we'd won our first game, and then I went and watched this team, and these are all my mates. I went and watched this team and how they were doing it. And in their first game, their first knockout game that they won, this team, all their goals were coming from this first chucker, right? So I had to think about and came up with a plan about how we're going to counter this, because like this chucker was on fire. It was going really well. High on confidence, highly talented players. It was great. So, yeah, a little bit more of a backstory. So there's 4 number 3s in the game, right? So 1, 2, and then the other chucker, there's another 2. Right, so I'll just draw those 2 up. This is the other chucker. We have a number 3 and a number 3 here. So that's my other number 3 and that's their other number 3. And I'll use blue pen. So their rankings, right, out of the 4 players, they were ranked. This player here was the best number 3. Then it was my other number 3. Then it was their other number 3, and here's my number 3. Right, so all of a sudden we've got a mismatch. Now, a simple, like to not think about it, all you do is he's the second best number 3, so let's pit him against the first best number 3, and we'll hopefully contain him, right? But I made myself a mismatch going the other direction, a mismatch against us, because I had a plan. So here, I set our weakest number 3 against their best number 3. That's how they're ranked, right? So that I could have my best number 3 against their weakest number 3. So I created so by having a mismatch against us here, I created a mismatch for us over here. Right? That doesn't really matter that much anymore. Now, within the team, within this red team, the number 1's ranked number 1 in their team, number 3's ranked 2, the number 2 is ranked 6. There's only 6 players in the team. So pretty standard sort of setup. The 2 best players take their weakest player. In here, I was the best player in our team, but then I probably had 4 and 5, let's say, maybe 5 and 6. I'll just call it 4 and 5. Right. So I've got a mismatch against us here, but it's also a mismatch in the fact of who's our rankings within the team playing against. Right, but I've got a slight advantage here. So, all well and good. Now, my number 3 was really low on confidence. Really low on confidence. And their number 3 was extremely high on confidence. So, here's where I had to think about it, and this is what I came up with, was that all I needed my number 3 here to do, and we just lucked in by having umpires that were just going to send the ball out the back. They didn't umpire, they were just ball throwers. So the ball just got sent time and time again out the back, which is really nice because it was consistent. You can build around consistent things quite easily. So how am I going to get around a highly rated, the best number 3 in the game against the worst number 3 in the game who's also low on confidence. Simplify a job role. All this player had to do was essentially not let him get the ball. That was it. Don't have to get the ball yourself, don't have to do anything. So the game plan was, you just turn out the back and don't let them get the ball. Right? And if they do get the ball, because good player, very good player, if they do get the ball, do not cut and go and try and defend the area, because now the worst number 3 is now defending against their best number 1. So we want to try and avoid that as much as we can. So that was what their job role was just to not get the ball, just run the other number 3 over the ball. And now, so what we have a slight mismatch in our favour here, but I want to make a bigger mismatch. So what I did is that instead of him following out, trying to be third man out, I sent him forward. And his job was to cover their best player. So now I've created a mismatch against them where our number 5 player is now wrecking their number 1 player's game, is also number 1. Right, so typical line out, everyone turns out, right, so they turn out and he cuts in front and jams them. Right, sidelines are the defender's friends. I was playing from defence here. You just hold this player up against the sideline. Right, 1 with the 2 holding them there. Which meant, because he cleared and went forward to interrupt them, it meant that I then played third man out. But look at now the mismatch I've created in our favour. Got our best player playing against their worst player. Right? So, and here, if my number 3 is doing enough to make their number 3 leave the ball on the ground, well, who's third man out? Who's in the best position to get the ball? Our best player. So yeah, that it was just having a bit of a think and a plan about what our strengths and weaknesses were. We talk about that team player culture. What were our strengths and weaknesses? What were their strengths and weaknesses? What could still we do? Like, she's low on confidence, still has a very good horse, right? Wasn't going to make big flash pickups, but still had more than enough horse to undo this number 3's run at the ball. And so just by having a game plan, I got my lesser players up and made, like, we got a +4 here, right? So the 5th player against their number 1 player. So we gave ourselves a +4. And then on this mismatch, we gave ourselves a +5, because now me as the number 1, our best player in the team, against their number 2 is the 6, like number 6 in their team. So now give ourselves a +5, right? We were down 2 there, so it's this +2 to them, or -2 to us. But look at what difference we could make just by creating some mismatches. Yes, we had to cop one on the chin, but then we created 2 more. And then over here, we also created another one, but that doesn't matter that much. And this worked really well. From their goal throwing chucker, like they were high scoring, fast goals. We just slowed the play down, slowed the ball down, slowed everything down. When this number 3 did get the ball a couple of times, she didn't leave him, but who was third out? We turned the ball over quite often because my number 2 had his number 1 behind play, and then it was a 2-on-1 with his number 1 behind play, right? So it worked, and it worked really well. And of course, you know, when you're playing against quality players, they're going to come up with other things to try and counter your counter, and then you try and counter their counter and so on and so forth. But having a bit of a plan and thinking about creating some mismatches, you know, you can really change up the game. And, you know, my player here had a really good game because she only had 2 job roles. try and run him over the ball, and then don't leave. Like, stay with the ball carrier. Did a brilliant job. We turned over so much ball, and then her been low on confidence. Guess what she was when we played in the final? Got a bit more confident, got a bit more confident, got a bit more confident. So yeah, we ended up winning this. We won at 9-8, so she was a bit of a seesawing, tough affair. It was a good, like, fun game. We made mistakes, they made mistakes. They came up with new things, we had to come up with new things, but we ended up turning their goal throwing chucker, and yeah, we ended up getting them by 1. So it was a good outcome, but it was, you know, thinking about our players' strengths and weaknesses, and yeah, and working against theirs. So yeah, I love creating mismatches. It's just so good. You can get something for nothing. And that's good when you don't have much. Righto.